Hello students, welcome to Dakshina E-Classroom. So guys, how are you all? I hope you all are well and you are studying very well. So you must be completing all your assignments. So here we are going to discuss the practice sheet solution of work, power and energy, and I hope you must have completed it. Please try it, attempt it. जब तक आपको लगता नहीं कि satisfactorily you have tried it your best, तब तक उसको try करो and then come to see the solution. So first we'll solve exercise 1 and this is the easiest exercise of all. So you must be able to do all the questions, but I'll discuss because if there are some important points which we can discuss while discussing the question, so you can get some extra points about that question. So if you have problem in a particular question, just go and solve that question or go and see the solution of that question. So first question is, if the unit of force and length each be increased by 4 times, unit of force and unit of length is increased by 4 times, then the unit of energy is increased by. So how we will relate energy, force and length? So we know that work done is equal to force into displacement, है ना? So unit of work done is equal to unit of force into unit of displacement, and unit of displacement is same as unit of length. So if you are making force, unit of force 4 times and unit of length 4 times, it means you are doing unit of force 4 times, unit of displacement 4 times. And when unit of force has become 4 times, unit of length has become 4 times, so 4 times, it will become, both are in multiplication, W is equal to force into displacement. This has become 4 times, this has become 4 times, and there is a multiplication, this whole thing will become 16 times. Clear? So work done or unit of work done is now 16 times of the initial units. Clear? It is 16 times. So if unit of work has become 16 times, then unit of energy will become 16 times. Clear? So first it was 1 Newton. Unit of force was 1 Newton and it was 1 meter. Now we have done 4 Newton and 4 meter. So this will become 16 joule. So initially unit of energy or work was 1 joule. Now it has become 16 joule. Clear? So it will become 16 times. First option. A2. A man pushes a wall and fails to displace it. He does negative work, positive but not maximum work, no work at all, maximum work. We are applying a force but there is no displacement. He is not doing any work in the language of science. है ना? So sorry for him or her. Now, so its answer will be no work at all. Option 3. A3. A rigid body moves a distance of 10 meter. I'll try to solve the question without using pen and paper, and please try to do it like that only when you're solving exercise 1 at least. So A3. A rigid body moves a distance of 10 meter along a straight line under the action of force 5 Newton. Displacement 10 meter. Force 5 Newton. If the work done by this force on this body is 25 joule, the angle which the force makes with the direction of motion of the body is. So if the force and displacement were in the same direction, force is 5, displacement is 10, it must be the work done would have been 5 into 10, 50 joule, but now it is 25 joule. It means one factor of half has multiplied in the multiplication of force and displacement. So when we find out work done, it is Fs cos theta. So if they are in the same direction, F into S, but if they are not in the same direction, then there will be a cos theta. So one factor of half is getting multiplied, that's why cos theta must be half, cos theta must be half, cos theta is half means angle is 60 degree. Clear? So answer will be 60 degree. So what is happening? F is equal to 5 Newton, S is equal to 10 meter, work done is equal to F S cos theta. It is given as 25 joule. F is 5, displacement 10, cos theta we don't know, 25 joule. So here we have 2, cos theta is equal to 1, cos theta is equal to half, theta is equal to 60 degree. Clear? Now question answer will be third option. Question number 4. A particle moves from position R1 is equal to blah 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 to position R2 blah 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 under the action of force blah blah blah. Clear? The work done by this force will be. So we have R1. I will not write I, J and K. We have 3, 2, minus 6 and R2 is 14, 13, 9. Force is 4, 1, 3. So we have to find out the work done by this force. What we'll do? Work done is equal to F dot R. This is the work done, and this R is nothing but the displacement. So initial position is this, final position is this. How we'll find out the displacement? Displacement is final position minus initial position. It means work done will be F, which is given, dot R2 minus R1. So what we'll get? F is this, R2 minus R1. 14 minus 3, 13 minus 2, 9 minus 6. So it is 11. It is 11 and this is 15. Clear? Now this is R2 minus R1. This is your displacement or R vector. Whatever you want to write, you can write. Now force is this. So we have 11 into 4. 44 plus 11 plus 45. है ना? So 45, 45, 90 and ये 100 joule. Correct? Work done is 100 joule. So this calculation you can do. I'll do in some problems. जिसमें बिल्कुल भी नहीं करना है. You can do it. Clear? So answer will be 100 joule. First option. A5. A 50 kg man with 20 kg load on his head climbs up 20 steps of 0.25 height each. Each step is of 0.25 meter height and he is climbing the 20 steps like this. It means if one step is of 0.25, 20 steps, total height will be 0.25 into 20. It will be 5 meter. 0.25 into 20. ठीक है? One step is of 0.25 meter. He is climbing 20 steps. It means 0.25 into 20 meter. It will be 5 meter. So basically he is climbing the height of 5 meter. Now the man is of 50 kg and he is having a load of 20 kg on his head. ठीक है? This is the load of 20 kg on his head. Now they are asking the work done by the man on the block during climbing is. Work done by the man on the block. So basically what will happen? On this block 200 Newton is acting in downward direction. ठीक है? And they are climbing the, so basically on his head this block is at rest. So on this block there is a force 200 Newton which is nothing but normal. On this block when it is kept on the head, what will happen? We have a force on that block mg acting downward and normal from the head of the man which is acting upward. So n is equal to mg. So how much force this man is applying on the block? It is equal to 200 Newton. He is applying a normal force on the block is of 200 Newton magnitude. So he is applying this much force on this block. This is applied by earth and this is applied by the man. So work done by man on the block will be how much? Force applied by man on the block which is 200 Newton and displacement in the direction of force. Displacement in the direction of force. It is how much? It is 5 meter. So we have 1000 joule is the work done by man on the block kept on his head. Option 3 is the answer. A6. A body which is constrained for move along y direction is acted upon by a force F is equal to -2, 15, 6. F is equal to -2, 15, 6. मतलब -2 I cap, 15 j cap, 6 k cap. Clear? So this is the force which is acting on a body and that body is constrained to move in y direction. The work done by this force in displacing the body by 10 meter along y axis. So displacement is only along y axis, 10 meter in j cap direction. So there is no displacement in x, there is no displacement in z. So displacement is only there in y direction. So I can write the displacement vector is 0, 10, 0. So work done will be F dot S, this into this, this into this, this into this, 0, 0, 150 joule. Clear? These questions are very easy. Body is constrained to move in only y direction. It means the force in x direction and force in z direction have zero work done. Clear? Because they are the those forces are the perpendicular to the direction of motion. Motion is in this direction and displacement motion is in this direction and force in x is perpendicular to y, force in z is perpendicular to y and motion is in y direction. Clear? So answer will be 150 joule. Option 2. Question number A7. Find the work done in moving a 50 kg block through a horizontal distance of 10 meter by applying a force of 100 Newton which makes an angle 60 degree with the horizontal. So we have a block of mass 50 kg which has to move 100 meter in horizontal direction, not 100 meter, 10 meter by applying a force of 100 Newton. By applying a force of 100 Newton which makes an angle 60 degree with the horizontal. So displacement is 10 meter, force is 100 Newton acting at 60 degree with the horizontal. So simply what we have, force dot S, है ना? So force is 100. So F S cos theta. Force is 100, S is 10, cos theta is half. So what will be the work done? 500 joule. 500 joule will be the work done. Clear? So what we are doing? 100 Newton at 60 degree angle with horizontal. Option 3 is the correct answer. Question number A8. A person holds a bucket of 60 Newton. Bucket of weight 60 Newton. He walks 7 meter along the horizontal and then climbs a vertical distance of 5 meter. Clear? The work done by the man is. So here the question should be the work done by the man on the bucket is. So when he is holding the bucket, okay, when he is holding the bucket, force will be like this. Mg is acting on this bucket, and whatever force he'll apply a normal force by his hand. So it will be in this direction. It will balance the mg. So the force which is getting applied on the bucket by the man is in the vertical direction. So whatever displacement he is doing in horizontal direction has nothing to do with work, because the force is in vertical direction and displacement in horizontal direction, then work done will be 0. But if there is a displacement in vertical direction, then work done should be there. So he is moving in horizontal direction by 7 meter and in vertical direction by 5 meter. So we have to do with only the displacement which is in the vertical direction, which is equal to 5 meter, and here normal will be equal to mg, and mg is directly given 60 Newton. So 60 Newton is the force which is getting applied by the man on the bucket, and displacement in the direction of force is 5 meter. So we will have force into displacement. 300 joule is the answer. Option is first. A9. A box of mass 1 kg is pulled on a horizontal plane of length 1 meter by a force 8 Newton, then it is raised vertically to a height of 2 meter. The net work done is. So here we have a box of mass 1 kg pulled in horizontal plane of length 1 meter by a force of 8 Newton. So 1 kg is pulled using 8 Newton by 1 meter. Then it is raised vertically to a height of 2 meter. So here when we are talking about displacement in horizontal direction, there is a force. Which force? 8 Newton, and displacement is 1 meter. So work done will be 8 Newton. ठीक है ना? Displacement जो horizontal direction में हो रहा है, because of that work done will be 8 Newton. And now it is moving in vertical direction by 2 meter. So what we are doing? When we have to move that block by 2 meter in vertical direction, what we should do? We have to work against gravity. Clear? We have to work against gravity. So simply we are lifting it by 2 meter. So on this block we have a force 10 Newton in downward direction. We should apply a force 10 Newton in upward direction. Clear? So what we'll do? We'll apply a 10 Newton force and it will move up by 2 meter. Similar to this. Here it is mg. Here it is normal. We are not gaining any velocity while taking this block in upward direction or in downward direction. We are just lifting slowly. So it is not going to get any velocity here. है ना? नहीं तो kinetic energy भी दिमाग में आ जाएगा. So no, we have to just lift this block by this much height. So what we'll have to do? We'll have to work against gravity. mg is pulling it downward. So हमें उस mg को overcome करके then we have to take the body upward. So what we'll have to do? We have to apply this much force in upward direction. So here same thing, 10 Newton is acting downward, 10 Newton force will apply in upward direction, and displacement is 2 meter. So work done when we are taking the block in upward direction or in vertical direction is force, which is with this force I am applying, and this force is getting applied by earth. So the work done by me on this block is first 8 Newton की वजह से कितना आया? Force into displacement, it is 8 joule, and because of this force we have 2 Newton into 10 Newton into 2 meter, it is 20 joule. So total work done by me to take this block 1 meter in this direction and 2 meter in this direction is 8 plus 20, it is 28 joule. So answer will be first option. So this is the section A of work or energy exercise 1. Now we will see exercise section B of exercise 1. So now solution of section B, it has questions from work done by a variable force. So first question is, a force acting on a particle varies with displacement as F is equal to ax minus bx square, where a is 1 and b is also 1. So we can write x minus x square is the force. And the work done by this force for the first 1 meter. So simply what we should do, work done, small work done. When we have variable force, we'll calculate small work done and then we'll add all those small work done. So small work done will be F dx. Basically what we are doing, at certain x, this much force is acting and this force is changing with x. But for very small dx, very small change in x, we can consider the force to be constant and we can calculate the work done in that particular region of dx. And similarly we can add all those work. So it will be from where to where, we have to go from 0 to 1 up to first 1 meter. So just put the values, x minus x square dx, you know the integration, it will be x square by 2 minus x cube by 3 from 0 to 1. When you put 1, you will get 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3, and when you put 0, you will get 0. So it will be 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3, it will be 1 by 6 joules. So answer will be first option. Question number 2 is, a position dependent force, again F is equal to 7 minus 2x plus 3x square, acts on a small body of mass 2 kg and displaces it from x is equal to 0 to x is equal to 5. But simply 7 minus 2x plus 3x square, F dot dx from 0 to 5, F is equal to this much. Integration of 7 will be 7x, integration of 2x will be, or minus 2x will be, or I'll write 7 minus 2x square by 2 plus 3x cube by 3 from 0 to 5. Now put the values, we have 7x. So 7x, 35 minus 25 plus 125, it will be 135 joule. Clear? This is 10 and this is 125, 135. Answer is fourth option. Question number B3. A rigid body is acted upon by a horizontal force which is inversely proportional to the distance covered s. The work done by this force will be proportional to. So force is inversely proportional to x. Force is inversely proportional to x. So what we have to do? Work is equal to F dot dx and then integration of this will be the work done. So what we have? Let's say F is equal to k by x. So k by x dx. Okay? From 0 to x. So now integration of 1 by, take k as common, integration of 1 by x is ln x. So we will get ln x from 0 to x. So now do we have such equation in the options? No. So the answer will be none of these. The work done is going to be proportional to this ln of x. And also here we should have x naught because ln 0 we cannot write. So from x naught to x we can write. Clear? Because ln of 0 doesn't exist. So none of these will be the answer. Question number B4. A force acts on a 3 gram particle in such a way that the position of the particle as a function of time is given by x is equal to 3t minus 4t square plus t cube. Clear? Now they are asking where x is in meter, t is in second. The work done during the first 4 seconds. Work done during the first 4 seconds. So in this question many people do a mistake, which is very common mistake. What they will do, they will calculate the displacement for the first 4 seconds and they will just multiply force with it. And force, from where we will get the force? We will differentiate this from where we are going to get velocity. Again differentiate it, we are going to get acceleration. We have mass and we have acceleration, we will get the force. But can we just multiply the force and displacement simply? No. Why? Because here we have a variable force. Clear? If we differentiate this, v is equal to 3 minus 8t plus 3t square. If we again differentiate, a is equal to minus 8 plus 6t. It means force is equal to ma is equal to 3 into 10 to the power minus 3. It is given in gram. So convert it in kg into 60 minus 8. It means we have force which is a variable, it is time dependent. So what we must do, we know if we have a variable force, what do? dW is equal to F dot dx, F dot dx. But now here we have force in terms of t, here it should be force in terms of x, then only you will be able to do dx, na? Clear? Now this is in terms of t and this is dx. How we are going to differentiate, integrate it? So what we have to do, we have to first find out dx. What is dx? Clear? So we have a force which is time dependent and we have position which is also time dependent, but this can be written as dx by dt. So from here I can write dx is equal to 3 minus dx is equal to v dt, है ना? dx is equal to v dt or this dt, 3 minus 8t plus 3t square into dt. So just now we have force in terms of time, dx in terms of time. Now what we'll do? Now we'll do force dot dx. So force is how much? 60 minus 8. We will take this. Okay, let's write that also. 3 into 10 to the power minus 8. And dx is 3 minus 8t plus 3t square into dt. Now multiply these two. What will get? 3 into 10 to the power minus 8. Here we have 3t square into 60, it is 18t cube. Then minus 8t square minus 24t square, and here we have minus 48t square, so minus 72t square. Now t, so 18t and 64t, so plus 82t and then minus 24 into dt. If you multiply these two brackets, you are going to get this. Now integrate this. 3 into 10 to the power minus 8. Integration from where to where? From t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 4. They are asking from t is equal to 0 to t is equal to 4. Now integrate this. So what will get? 18t power 4 by 4 minus 72t cube by 3 plus 82t square by 2 minus 24t from 0 to 4. Just cancel whatever the factors are getting cancelled and then put the value of 4 for here for t, and then you will get the answer. This much calculation you must do. Clear? So answer will get, when you multiply all of this, answer will be 528 millijoule. Okay, this will be the answer. Question number B5. A rope is used to lower vertically a block of mass m at a distance x at a constant downward acceleration g by 2. The work done by the rope on the block is. So we have a block of mass m which has to be taken down by displacement x, and with acceleration is equal to g by 2. With this much acceleration it should go down. Clear? So if it is going with this much acceleration, it means net force on the block. Net force always what we have? Mass into acceleration. Mass is m, acceleration is g by 2. Net acceleration of this block is g by 2. It means net force acting on this block is how much? mg by 2 is the net force acting on this block. Now already we have a force mg, and here we have a string. With the help of that string we are taking this block vertically downward. So if net force on this block has to be mg by 2, it means tension in this rope should be mg by 2. Then only mg minus mg by 2, it will have a net force mg by 2 in downward direction, and it will move with acceleration g by 2. So value of tension is how much? mg by 2. Now let's see what they are asking. They are asking the work done by the rope on the block. Work done by the rope means what force this rope is applying on the block? It is T. So force is T, which is mg by 2, and in upward direction. Displacement is x in downward direction. So what is the work done by the rope? Will be force dot s. So mg by 2 into x, and angle between them is 180. It is downward, it is upward. So we have a minus here. Cos 180 degrees minus 1. So minus half mgx. Minus half mgx will be the answer. Third option. B6. The force required to stretch a spring varies with the distance as shown in the figure. definitely when you are going to stretch the spring, the force required to stretch increases as deformation increases, because you need, when you are stretching it, you need a force equals to kx. Whatever force it is getting generated in the spring, we must apply that much force, then only it will get stretched. So as we increase the deformation, the force required to stretch or compress will increase. So it is shown in the figure something like this: the force required and displacement. This is the force required to stretch the spring, and this is the displacement. If the experiment is performed with the above spring of half the length, then the line OA will shift towards f-axis, shift towards x-axis, remain as it is, become double in length. So they are asking, previously I had a spring of this much length, and I was experimenting with this experiment, that we are stretching it, and while stretching, when deformation is increasing, the force required is increasing. When deformation is increasing, force required is increasing. But now they are saying that take half of the length and try that experiment. So when you make the length half, what is going to change? What is going to change for that spring? Spring constant. If spring constant of original spring was K, spring constant for half the length of the same material of the spring is going to be 2K and 2K. I have told you when I was teaching the spring constant in NLM. So when we will make this length half, because definitely when you have longer length of spring, you will require less force, है ना? When you have lesser, or the length is smaller, then you need more force to stretch it with the same deformation. So its spring constant has increased. So what is the force required? Let's say this spring is attached here. Now I am applying a force in this direction F. F must be what? F must be Kx, where x is increasing, where x is increasing, F is increasing. So यहाँ पे simply we have F proportional to x, clear? Or F is equal to Kx. This is the equation for first spring. Now what is happening? Now I have a spring of spring constant 2K. So now the new force will be 2Kx. If deformation is x, the force will be 2Kx. So what has happened? This is a straight line. F and x, F versus x is a straight line. F is equal to Kx. It's a straight line of slope K. So its slope is K. Now again it's a straight line with slope 2K. So when slope will increase, the line will move like this or like this. Just think, it is going to move in this direction. This is the higher slope, or little bit more. This will be the new line with slope 2K. So when we have a length half of the initial length, then this graph is going to shift towards the f-axis. Why? Because slope has increased now. Slope has increased now. So the line will shift towards f-axis. Question. So answer will be first option. The relationship between force and position is shown in figure. The work done by the force in displacing a body from x is equal to 1 centimeter to x is equal to 5 centimeter. So we have a graph of force in dynes versus displacement in centimeter. So I'll just draw the graph so that you can try the question again. All the questions you can listen and try and then see the solution. Okay. So now we have force. So it is starting from 1. And then at 3 it is like this, again 4 to 5 it is like this, 5 to 6, 6 to 7, and then we have to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have to find work done from x is equal to 1 centimeter to x is equal to 5 centimeter. This is 10, 20, minus 20, yeah, here minus 10. So for when you are finding out the work done in fx from the fx curve, what we have to do? We have to just find out the area of the curve, simply area of the curve. So when we are talking about from x is equal to 1, from x is equal to 1 to x is equal to 5, which area will calculate? This area. And definitely the below area will be taken negative, above area will be taken positive. So here we have, this area is this is 10 and this is 1. So 10 and this area is 20. This area is again 20 and this area is again 10. But this area is minus 20. So this is going to get cancelled and we'll get 20. So this is given in dyne and in centimeter. So our units will be in erg. So answer will be 20 ergs, which is given in the first option. So this was the section B of exercise 1 and later we'll see the section C. So let's see the question of section C, exercise 1 of work power energy. Section C has questions from work energy theorem. So first question is, the kinetic energy of a body of mass 2 kg and momentum 2 Newton second is. So kinetic energy we have to find out, mass is 2 kg and momentum is 2 Newton second. So we know kinetic energy is equal to P square by 2m. P is 2, so P square will be 4. In denominator we have 2m. 2 already is there, m is again 2. So 4 divided by 4. So we have kinetic energy is equal to P square by 2m. P square is 4 and mass is 2, so it is 4. So we'll get 1 joule. Or answer will be 1 joule. First option. Second question is, a particle of mass m at rest is acted upon by a force F for a time t. Its kinetic energy after an interval t is. So we have a constant force acting on it for time t. So force is F and time is t. So we have to find out the kinetic energy. So what we need? We need velocity for this particle. So if force is F, then acceleration will be F by m, and velocity after time t will be, velocity is equal to u plus at. So particle was at rest, so u is 0. So a into t, F by m into t. So particle's velocity after time t is F by m into t. So we have to find out its kinetic energy. So kinetic energy will be half m v square, f square by m square into t square. So it is f square t square by 2m. F square t square by 2m. Option 2 is the correct answer. C3. A particle of mass 0.1 kg subjected to a force which varies with distance as shown in the figure, which is given something like this. Here it is 4, 8, 12, 0 and this is 10. Force and displacement. So now they are asking, if it starts its journey from rest at x is equal to 0, its velocity at x is equal to 12 is. So here velocity is 0. Now total work done will be area of this trapezium. So area will be half sum of parallel sides. So this is 8 minus 4, it is 4 and this is 12. So 12 plus 4, 16 into height is 10. So we have 80 joule. 80 joule is the work done. Now whatever work is done on this block or particle, whatever, it is going to change or it is going to be stored as kinetic energy, whatever work is done by this force. So this will be the kinetic energy, it will be its kinetic energy. So half m is 0.1 into v square. Okay? So we here we have this 2 will go in this direction, 160, and then again 10 will come from this. So we have v square is equal to 1600. So v is equal to 40 meter per second. V is equal to 40 meter per second. Option 4. Question number C4. A heavy stone is thrown from a cliff of height h with a speed v. The stone will hit the ground with maximum speed if it is thrown vertically downward, vertically upward, horizontally. The speed does not depend on the initial direction. So yeah, if you are throwing from the height h, with some velocity v, in whatever direction you throw, what will be the equation? We'll have some initial velocity here, maybe in any direction. Now it is covering this much distance. So here what will happen? Work done by work energy theorem we have to use. So work done by all the forces is equal to change in its kinetic energy. So work done by, here we have only gravitational force. So work done by gravity will be mgh is equal to half m v final square minus v initial square. So they are asking kinetic energy will be maximum. The stone will hit the ground with maximum speed if it is thrown. So maximum speed. So we have mgh plus half m v square is equal to half m v final square. So here, is it depending on the direction or any theta on by which we are throwing the particle? No, we are throwing the particle down from height h with speed v. So in any direction you throw, final velocity is going to remain same for all the cases. If you throw it like this or this, it is going to remain same. So option 4, the speed does not depend on the initial direction. This is the answer. C5, the work done by all the forces, external and internal, on a system equals the change in total energy, kinetic energy, potential energy, none of these. So definitely kinetic energy. We have studied this, we have proved this in the lectures of work power energy. Clear enough? Question number C6, C5 answer second option. Question number C6, a body starts from rest with uniform acceleration and acquires a velocity v in time t. The instantaneous kinetic energy of the body after any time t is proportional to. So we have to find out kinetic energy. It is moving with a constant acceleration. It is moving with a constant acceleration and it is gaining the velocity capital V in time capital T. Clear? So if we have a constant acceleration, for constant acceleration we can write A is equal to V by T. For constant acceleration, change in velocity divided by total time taken. This is the, for any time interval of time t, average acceleration is total change in velocity by total time taken. Clear? So total change in velocity is V in total time capital T. Now for constant acceleration, average, instantaneous, everything is going to be same. So this is the acceleration for this particular case. This is the acceleration which is a constant. So now they are saying what will be the kinetic energy after time small t. So after time small t, velocity is going to be A into t, which is V by capital T into small t. So kinetic energy will be half m v square. So V by T into T square. Half m v square. No. So this whole square. So it will be half m v square t square by capital T square. So kinetic energy, their question was the instantaneous kinetic energy of the body after any time t is proportional to. So these are constants, so it is proportional to this. This is also constant, but they have given in terms of v and t. So answer will be v square by v by t into t whole square. Clear? So answer will be fourth option. Clear? So here what is happening? There is a constant force acting on it, or there is a constant acceleration, and they are giving that velocity has increased or changed by v in time t. So we can find out acceleration from there. Once you have found out acceleration, you can find out velocity at certain instant. If you can find out velocity at certain instant, it means you can find out kinetic energy that at that particular instant, whatever is the instantaneous velocity at this instant, kinetic energy will be half m v instantaneous at this instant whole square. So at time t is equal to small t, instantaneous velocity was this, so instantaneous kinetic energy was this. So it was proportional to this term. Clear? So answer will be fourth option. Question number C7. If V, P and E are velocity, momentum and kinetic energy of the particle, then they have four options. P is equal to dE by dV. Second option is P is equal to dE by dt. Third is P is equal to dV by dt. And fourth is none of these. So just try this question also. So एक एक करके differentiate करके देख लो. So first we have to differentiate E with respect to V. dE by dV. E with respect to V. So we can write E is equal to half mv square. So I am just differentiating both sides with respect to V. V is the variable. So dE by dV is equal to half and m are constant. Differentiate this with respect to V. So x square, differentiation of x square with x is 2x. Similarly, differentiation of v square with v is 2v. Clear है? We are differentiating with respect to v. So we got dE by dV is equal to mv. This is nothing but p. So this is correct. Now try this So dE by dt, if we do dE by dt, we'll get dE by dt is equal to half m 2v dv by dt. Now we are not differentiating with respect to v, we are differentiating with respect to time. So this is not time, this is neither the time. So we'll have to separately write this variable, differentiation of this variable with respect to time. If this were time, then directly we can write 2t. Differentiation of t square with respect to t is 2t, but differentiation of t square with some p, let's say differentiation of t square with respect to p, है ना? So what we'll do, differentiation of t square with p will be this. So क्या लिखेंगे, 2t dt by dp. Clear है, ये चीज तो समझ में आती है ना? If you are differentiating with respect to the same variable, then separately you don't have to differentiate with respect to that variable again. Or let's say I write half m is constant, 2v, again differentiate v with respect to v, तो क्या आएगा, dv by dv. So it gets cancelled, that's why we don't write. So यहाँ पे क्या आता है, when you are differentiating with another variable, we have to write this also, like we did in this case. We were differentiating e with respect to time, so we write dE by dt. Now third one is dv by dt. dv by dt is simply a, it can never be p, है ना? p is mv, mv can never be equal to dv by dt. ठीक है? So answer will be first option. Now question number C8. The total work done on a particle is equal to the change in its kinetic energy. Always, only if the forces acting on it are conservative, only if gravitational force acting on it, only if elastic force acting on it. No, when we derived it, we took work done by all the forces, internal, external, conservative, non-conservative. Work done by all the forces on a particle is equal to change in its kinetic energy. It is always true. So answer will be 1. Question number C9. When a man walks on a horizontal surface with constant velocity, work done by friction. First option is work done by friction is 0. Work done by contact force is non-zero. Work done by gravity is non-zero. Fourth is none of these. So work done by gravity is non-zero. Bhai, work done by gravity is 0. You're walking on horizontal surface and gravitational force is vertically downward, so definitely work done by gravity is going to be 0 because those two are perpendicular. So third option is wrong. Work done by contact force is non-zero. Work done by contact force is non-zero. Work done by contact force is non-zero. So let's see this. Before that we'll see first option. Work done by friction is 0. So when we are walking, in that case, this is an interesting question. When we are walking, what is the, like how we walk? We are, when we put first leg, it is like this, and then second leg. Okay, second leg. Then we lift this leg. This is the motion. Is there any slipping between the leg and the surface? Is there any slipping? No. What we are doing? We are just pushing the surface and we are putting the another leg. We are lifting it. Again we are putting the another leg. So basically there is no relative motion. There is a tendency of relative motion, but there is no relative motion. There is no slipping. It means with respect to the surface, this leg is not moving. Not moving as in there is no slipping. So friction is there, but displacement due to that friction is not there. है ना? When there is a slipping, then there is a relative motion. But what we are doing, this you are going to study in the rotational motion also. There also we will be seeing that there is a friction, but there is a certain point which is not moving at all. That point is getting displaced, but that point is not moving. There is no relative motion between the point and the surface. There is no slipping. Our legs are not slipping. What is happening? देखो, अभी it is at rest. First leg it is at rest, rest. Second leg is kept. Now first leg is lifted. Did it slip on the surface? No, it did not move. So work done by friction is 0. Friction is there, but there is no relative motion. So work done by friction will be 0 because there is no displacement. There is no relative motion. So work done by friction is 0. Work done by normal is definitely 0. So if work done by friction is 0, work done by normal is 0, it means work done by contact force is 0. But second option is saying that work done by contact force is non-zero. So that is wrong. Work done by gravity is non-zero, given in third option, that is wrong. So first option is given as work done by friction is 0. So that is correct. Work done by friction is 0. It is not doing any work. there is no slipping between the legs and the surface. When you are slipping, which happens when you are walking on ice or some slippery surface, in that case there will be a small work done by friction, and when you slip, sometimes you may feel that your leg is getting heated, because of friction heat is getting generated. So answer will be first option. Now last question of section C. Given that the displacement of the body in meter is a function of time as follows: x is equal to 2 into t to the power 4 plus 5. The mass of body is 2 kg. What is the increase in its kinetic energy 1 second after the start of motion? So we have x is equal to 2t to the power 4 plus 5. So what is the increase in its kinetic energy 1 second after the start of motion? So initially, first we write the velocity. So velocity is differentiation of this. So it is 8t cube, just 8t cube. So initially at t is equal to 0, velocity is 0. At t is equal to how much after 1 second they are asking. So at t is equal to 1, velocity is 8. Velocity is 8. So now we have to find out the increase in kinetic energy. So increase in kinetic energy will be half m v final square minus v initial square. So we have half m is 2, v final is 8 square minus v initial is 0 square. So I'm sorry, this square will be here. So we are going to get 8 square, which is 64 joule. So initially velocity was 0, so kinetic energy was 0. Finally kinetic energy is 64, so change in kinetic energy will be 64 joule. Answer will be fourth option. So this is the section C of work power energy exercise 1. Now we will see section D, which has question from mechanical energy conservation.